Okay, this is a brief tutorial on the new All Dungeons route that does Z copy warps to the bosses and also does the Giants cutscene skips and a credit swap in the end. This is not a full beginner tutorial. I would not recommend this if you don't have any experience with the game so far or SRM. So I would maybe recommend Riley's tutorial for any percent if you're a beginner. But anyway, so this is now in second cycle. First cycle you buy bomb bag. And yeah, now we're gonna start with hitting this owl. Yeah, I have bomb cheats on, but nice bomb. Yeah, we're gonna go to our observatory, and in Terminal Field you need an RNG bomb drop. Oh yeah, first let me explain something. So this here is an address. We're gonna change the pointer for the Giants chamber. So where the game is looking for the Giants chamber normally, we're gonna change that to this address here. And as you see, currently this is all just zeros. Because this is an address on the actor heap, and this is quite far, quite high up in the actor heap, so most scenes don't load so many actors that it changes this value. However, a scene that changes it is Terminal Field. So we're gonna go to Terminal Field. So yeah, there's something loaded now. However, the first line, so these first two here, this and this, will be relevant for the first warp, for the first blue warp. And currently that's just 0, that's fine. That will warp us to Purified Swamp. And the second warp is these two here, that's also Purified Swamp. But for the third one, this one here, and the fourth, that will later be set to Credit Swap. That's just some garbage data that is not fine for now, but we're gonna change that later. So just keep in mind that Terminal Field is fine for the first two blue warps during the day. However, during night it's not. During night it sets some garbage data that also doesn't work for the first two warps. So just keep in mind that if you enter Terminal Field during night, also enter it during the day later before you warp to the first boss ever. So nice bomb drop. Okay, for chest SRM, you're gonna start with chest SRM. You need only one bomb drop. Optimally, you would get 3 bomb drops now, if you are very lucky. Because overall this route uses 14 bombs. So if you get very lucky, yeah, you don't need to SRM a bomb bag, but since that's quite unlikely, you will most likely need to SRM bomb bag. Okay, so we're here in observatory, and yeah, we're gonna start with chest SRM. If you are familiar with chest SRM, you can probably skip this and just, yeah, maybe see what items I SRM. If not, then yeah, just follow this heap setup. It's pretty easy. I'm just gonna skip briefly over it. I assume that most people have done this before. Okay, get to this wall and do inverted camera. Nice. Okay. Yeah, super slide without breaking the nearest pot with this pot. Go in and out, and then we need 1, 1, 3, 4. Aura angle, so we target this wall, backwalk to this wall, and then buffer to this frame. And while walking forward, drop the pot, and that's angle 1, 1, 3, 4. Which will make the game look at our collision angle for the silver rupee chest. And that was a horrible sword recoil. but whatever. Okay, so the items we need is fires. Let me explain this while I'm doing it. Yeah, that was too late. Normally you want to pull bomb during the cutscene. Okay, start with fire arrows because you can just run into the chest with this angle. Then bomb back 30 is touch chest, turn right, so ESS or control stick left, 3 ESS up. So collision angle is 5.7, 3.9 for this. Song of Soaring is I think 6.8 collision angle. Turn this way. 1C up left, and then ESS left up to this. That's Song of Soaring. Now after the short chest animation, just walk into this wall and side up out, and this gives us Goron. So for Zora, stand more like this, turn this way, 3 ESS down, or is it 2? 2 ESS down. Yeah, 3, 4, 1, 1. 4 Fierce Duty, control stick down so that you are all the way up, and then 2 ESS left. Go into this corner. Side hop and backflip, and with the side hop you should touch the back of the chest, and this gives us Fierce Duty. Now bow, we don't necessarily need more than normal bow, so just hold down, walk into the chest, and 1C up left, and this is bow. However, I could see maybe that if you fight Twinmold with arrows, you maybe want bigger quiver, or the biggest quiver. What is this? Target wall, left or right, doesn't matter. Backflip out and 3 ESS up. Walk into the chest and roll out, and this is biggest quiver. Now one optional item that I, at least in my first runs, that I want to get is maybe Chateau or Romani. Walk into chest, turn left, 3 ESS down, or actually, yeah, either 3 ESS down or I suck at ESS down. So then 1C up right, and I think if you start with C up right, then you can also do ESS right instead of ESS down. But I guess you can figure that out yourself. Okay, so I got these items. Yeah, equip some masks. We got this. Okay, now that's everything we want. There's probably a better tutorial for all of this if chess SRM is new to you. I think I didn't really explain it very well. I skipped over pretty much everything. As I said, this is not for full beginners. Okay, yeah, normally, okay, I have Deku equipped. You don't need Deku in this run at all. So you're gonna put on Zora. Normally you would get the masked transformations that you cannot skip. So Zora and then Goron. Goron just for movement to this part. So the wall is already broken, and we're gonna blow up the balloon here. You will not be full health here, so you can farm some health from these pots if you like. There's a stupid thing here where you can void out a Goron. I think when the balloon is floating downwards, when you blow it up and then go where the balloon was, and then you can somehow get crushed. So as Goron, you can somehow avoid that. It's pretty stupid. Okay, anyway. So we've done chest SRM. Okay, and next is the first light node SRM. The first light SRM is for changing the giant's cutscene pointer. And first I'm gonna explain a little bit the camera here. If you come from downstairs, the camera is very different than when you come from upstairs. If you come from upstairs, you see it's somehow zoomed out very far, and technically it doesn't matter for both setups, for both lights SRM setups we do, but yeah, we come from downstairs, so I'm gonna show it from downstairs, and it's just changing the visual cues, so you're just gonna keep that in mind. Okay. Okay, the position setup for the giant's cutscene pointer change. So you're gonna target this wall, roll into this corner. Your X position can end with F1 or F2, but for this setup and also for the other setup, the Z copy setup, doesn't matter. So you're gonna quick draw sword, jump slash here, then turn this way and stab, then turn around and stab left, then 2 shield slashes, target and do a target slash. And now there's a little technique to change your X position while not changing your Z position. So if you do one ESS this way and then back, then your Z position will again be the same, but your X position's changed. And you can roll back about here. So what we need to do is doing that 5 times, so doesn't really matter in which order, but I'm gonna ESS in this direction, do 2 rolls. And now since I'm too far to the wall, I'm gonna turn, do 3 rolls. So that's half of it. Turn around, roll down again. And now I'm gonna do 3 rolls this way. And 2 rolls this way. Yeah, you can also mix the order a little bit, however you prefer this. Okay, now we're gonna turn this way and do a shield scoot. Now turn down and do 1 Zora slash. And now your Z position is already what it should be. So the pointer starts with A01C52. So now we're gonna roll down all the way again, or not all the way, but up to here. And now we're gonna target and walk forward up to here. So my visual cue is Link's head is right where the stairs, right at the top of the stairs, and then yeah, let go of control stick. Now some adjustments. Do 2 frames of back walk twice, so that's 1 and 1, 2, that's the second one, and that's already the position. Now we just need to get an angle that starts with CC, so turn down and ESS left up until this. Okay, so this is now all correct. Yeah, play Song of Double Time. And this will store our respawn position. Okay, now for the heap setup for the first light SRM or both light SRMs, it's a little bit tricky. So you're gonna break this pot, and what you want to do is when you are right between hideout and observatory, you pull a bomb and walk with the bomb into hideout. So observatory unloads, let the bomb explode, and drop another bomb, and then do a charged spin into observatory, and all that before the second bomb explodes. So it's a little bit tricky because it's hard to tell where hideout starts and observatory begins. So what I personally do is I line up here and do 3 side hops per bomb after the it's so hard to explain this while you're doing it. I hope you could follow it. So yeah, there's if you're good at the game, you can look at the video, the original video by Full Grown Gaming. How he did it, I have no idea how he did it. So easy, but yeah, this is a tricky heap, but it's really fast if you are good. Okay, so we're gonna super slide with this pot while not breaking this pot, and so we're gonna do an inverted cam about here. Man, inverted cam. Okay, so gonna go about here. I think any percent on 1.0 also uses this, so I'll drop one here. I'm pretty sure 1.0 does the same thing, right? Okay, so we're gonna go into observatory again. So the angles for both SRMs, both light SRMs are exactly the same actually. So target this 5 ESS this way to CDDC, then adjust angle here so it ends with 5, and do ESS right to 125, this 3325. Okay, so just gonna load the hideout, and when you hear the torches you know you are far enough that you can just drop and go back in observatory, and if it didn't crash then you can probably assume that it worked. Unless the SRM heap or something was wrong. So yeah, when the torch unloads, then a destroy function in the torch runs, and this writes some data. So if we're gonna take a look at what did I show earlier? Yeah, this is the address where we changed the giant's pointer to, and we can already see this here. So this is not what we want. This is the garbage data, but it also doesn't matter. Light SRM always writes in both directions, so we form 2 pointers with our position, and both these pointers write into each other's address. So if I go to where the giant's pointer is, this should also have been changed. So you see, yeah, with some offsets. Yeah, right here. So this is with offsets 4. So this worked fine. Alright. Okay, now for the second light SRM. Honestly, this is a setup I made this quite a while ago. There's already a video that I made, except that I started from upstairs, so the visual cues are different, so I'm gonna show it from downstairs now. And I might make a better setup for this, but for now we're gonna use this. So we roll into this corner again. Now a 1 frame side hop this way, and 1 roll, turn, and then hold all the way right and stab. Put away sword, do a roll, then do 5 target slashes. 1 shield slash and 3 normal. Okay, now we need to roll all the way up. Like 5 rolls, I think that is. And yeah, turn around, do 4 jump slashes. Then turn this way, then 3 times walk 2 frames forward. If you walk 1 frame forward like this, nothing happens. So always 2 frames, and that 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And our Z position is now already what it should be. It's going to change a little bit, but also changes back. So you don't need to put away sword there. And during the two frame forward walking, if you buffer it, you can also already equip Zora mask. Maybe this way. So we need Zora, then do 3 jump slashes. And while targeting 3 slashes this way. You can see this changes the Z position, but we're gonna do this backwards turn. Now Z is again the same thing. And now we need Goron, and we need to do some Goron curling. If you just curl this Goron, you can see he just starts rolling down. I'm not holding forward or anything. That's because the slope is steep enough. And depending on the camera, the visual cues here will be very different. So, for my visual cues here, I'm gonna target and about here. So now you cannot see anything. And this is the frame before the frame we want, and this is the frame we want. And now just let go of A and maybe target if you want. Also thing, if I keep holding target now, and then we need to do another Goron curl, and whether or not you retarget, this will also change the visual cue. So for my visual cues, I always retarget. Just keep that in mind, so that you are not that you know why it might be look different if it does. So the next is like 10 frames. So this is the frame before, and now Goron is completely disappeared. This is why I like this visual cue. It's quite easy to tell. And now I retarget again and do a last one to this one. Or is it this one? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Is it this one? It was not this one. I'm gonna redo this again. It was one more frame. So this is the frame where you want to let go. So the coordinates that you can see that are displayed, the x coordinate this is always the coordinates that you would get if you would let go of one frame before that. So we're gonna let go now, and this is what we want. Now we're gonna take off Goron, turn around, and we're gonna need to adjust our X position a little bit, and we can do that. There are several ways to do this, but here what works is do a target Zora slash this way and back, and now my X position is down 1 unit, so from 7E to 7D, and we're gonna need to do this one more time. Now it's 7C, and that's what we want. Turn human, turn around. And now I found a little improvement from my last video. So my video I did from here I did like 4 frames back walk, and then 2 frames back walk and 1 frame or whatever. Again, it was stupid. I found a little bit improvement here. So was it 2 sheet scoots? I think 2, and now 3 frames forward, and that's it. Yeah. So walk 3 frames forward, 2 sheet scoots forward, and this is it. And this is the position we want. Now just an angle that ends with. That's not what I wanted to do. What was the angle? I'm gonna remember when I see it. This AC. Okay, this is what we want. Good song. Okay, the heap setup for the second light SRM is the same as the first one, except one thing you need to keep in mind is, as I showed earlier, those pointers right in both directions. So we make the game look for our soaring to the South Clockton Owl, look at Link's Z position or a copy of Link's Z position. And yeah, some garbage data is by that also written into Link's actor. And if we unload the torch, so when we unload the torch, those points are written. And if Link is also loaded at the same time, the game would crash. So what we do is don't go back into the hideout, back into the observatory like the first setup, but go to East Clocktown, so exit the scene. This also works as unloading the torch, fortunately. So yeah, I'm gonna do this thing again. And fail inverted cam like 5 times. Any minute. There we go. First try. So yeah, 5 ESS this way, update to 5 in the end, and yeah, same angle as last time, 3325. And as soon as you hear the torches, you can drop. And yeah, just don't go back into observatory, or else the game would crash. So we're gonna exit this way. Alrighty, so we're gonna check if this worked. The address for the South Clocktown Owl, no, not this, also not this. Memory 1C5 for something I forgot, 9 I think. Yeah, here. So this is what our position data earlier was, and now we wrote here. And Link's actor reloaded, so there's also no garbage data in Link. So that's fine. So what we want to do now is warp to bosses. So the dungeon order is technically free. You can beat the bosses in any order, but I think the best way is maybe if you start with Twinmold and then Goht, because at this point you probably have full magic for Twinmold or almost full magic, and then you can refill at Goht, or maybe the other way around also makes sense. So yeah, I have some position setups I'm gonna show you. For Goht warp, you need the value BC or what was the other one? BC or 44. So if you look at the last byte of Z position, that's currently 00. For Goht, is setup is 5 target slashes. So that's now BC, that's what warp us to Goht. Or is set up for Twinmold. Twinmold is either CA or 3-6. There are always 2 values because one of them is negative, and apparently the game doesn't care whether it's negative or positive, so that's kind of nice. Twinmold setup that I have is 2 shield slashes and 4 target. And for the other bosses, I don't have setups right now, but yeah, you can make them yourself if you like to. For Odolwa, it's 1F or E1. And for Gyorg, it's 5F or A1. So yeah, I gonna show some optional setups, but not every option. So you might, if you want a setup that I am not showing, you would need to make that yourself. But yeah, the dungeon order that I'm showing is yeah, starting with Twinmold and then Goht. And also something really cool here, this Triforce warp. So as far as I know, the game is looking at Inlink's actor, at some data that is always different depending on what scene you are, I think. So from East Clocktown you get this Triforce, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's the only entrance in this route, or the only scene in this route from where you warped, where you get this. So yeah, I'm gonna skip over this fight, I guess. All right, I totally didn't need 5 minutes to beat this boss. Okay, so now let's double check maybe at the memory where the game is currently looking for the blue orb. So B, C something, C3. And yeah, it's still the same stuff like it was in Terminal Field. That's all fine. Yeah, you can also pick up the hot container if you like, or whatever. So we are going to Southern Swamp Purified. Yeah, I'm gonna show Goht Warp. What is Goht Warp? Okay, I actually have setups for all 4 bosses here. Goht is do 4 of those shield slashes, so that gives you 4/4. Odolwa is 1 shield slash, turnaround, and 1 target slash, that gives you E1. Gyorg is 3 target, 1 shield. So that's A1, that's Gyorg. And Twinmold, if you don't start with Twinmold. 1 target, turn. And 6 shield slashes, that's CA. Okay, so, but I'm gonna walk to Goht now. If you mess up or lose your initial position for whatever reason, I think the only backup, or I have not made any backups. You can make your own backups if you like. But one backup is always just enter Road to Swamp and enter again. You will load in Poison Swamp, since we didn't watch any Purified cutscene yet, or even if you start with Odolwa, the game it would not be purified, so you would get the cutscene of entering Southern Swamp, which sucks. So you just don't mess up your initial setup. Don't do that. Alright, I totally did not mess up Goht walking in the right spot. That totally did not happen. Man, I'm really glad that this is not the previous route with a stupid heap setup. I had a route in mind where, yeah, that would have been run over if Goht's on the wrong spot. But fortunately it's not. Okay, now we are here again. So for the next blue warp we need to change this here. So this is garbage, we cannot use, and this here, oh not this, oh actually yes, this, what is currently 9F and C4, this is supposed to warp us to the credits later. And what we do is we gonna enter Road to Swamp during the daytime. If for whatever reason for you it is not daytime, play a Song of Double Time when you are still in Swamp to make it day. And if it's night of the third day, your run is over anyway, whatever. So what we want to do is we need an angle that is either 9B or ends with 9B or 6.5. That will correspond to Lost Woods. Lost Woods cutscene, the fourth cutscene of Lost Woods is the end credits, and in combination with the last Blue Warp, which would normally play the fourth Giants cutscene, that will result in the end credits. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, what is it, 9B. So adjust, so this is your initial angle. What I didn't mention, you should always, when you come from there, walk with full speed, or else your position will be different. So I'm gonna show you the fast initial setup. Yeah, do one ESS up. What I always like to do is do one ESS up to the side, and then up, and then you can always tell that you got it. So now it's 1B, and you can now either turn this way up to 9B. You can always also turn the other way, but yeah, this is the setup I'm showing you right now. So this is 9B, so this angle. Now we're gonna drop 3 bombs, and then when the smoke is loaded, do a charged spin. And what that does is I'm gonna show you. So shield these explosions and charge a spin. And now the charged spin is loaded exactly in the right spot in memory that this here changed to 9B. So this will be the fourth Blue Warp, and that will be the end credits. And at the same time it's also fixing this issue for the third Blue Warp, which is pretty nice. Okay, so that's the fast initial setup. The fastest... So the reason why I'm not moving and standing in always the same spot is that all of these walls are very stupid, and since we now also want to do a warp, there isn't really any better way to get an initial position. The fastest way from here is do one ESS right and do one normal slash, and that is E1. That will warp to Odolwa. However, I think it might be faster to warp to Gyorg, because we already have bow equipped and we want that. What's the setup for Gyorg? Did I even make one? I think I might have forgotten that. I don't have a setup for this. Okay, then I guess we're gonna warp to Odolwa maybe. But I'm gonna show you a backup also, which is target this wall and adjust this angle, and then do two ESS this way, and then you can also do this here. And yeah, this is also resulting in this here. This here, surprisingly, so the angle of the quick spin is apparently switched 180, so it's not 1C9B, it's 9C9B, but that doesn't matter. And yeah, for the initial angle, the best way is to enter this grotto. I don't know any better way, so optimally don't mess it up and then warp to Odolwa. Okay, here I have a really good setup for a Goht warp, which is turn right or left, doesn't matter, and do one normal slash, and this side is BC, which is the negative value, and this is 4-4, which is the positive one. For Gyorg, I have one ESS left and do a jump slash. This is 5F, which should be... yeah, this is Gyorg. For Odolwa, my setup is really stupid. or the faster setup at least is very stupid, because it is do full backflips this way, which is E1, this is Odolwa, or one other setup for Odolwa is turn right, what? No, this is turn left, do a charged spin, and then turn one more time, and do 2 slashes of shield slash, 2 shield slash. So this is also E1 if you don't want to do those stupid backflips, and we're just gonna take this one. I think I don't have a setup for Twinmold. No, I don't. So yeah, initially my initial setup was supposed to warp to Odolwa, so we're gonna do this from here as well. And also the cool thing about the grotto is that it actually also gives you the Triforce warp. That's really cool. And yeah, one thing to keep in mind, I have actually not managed to actually make this happen, but technically I think it's possible. If you get very bad Odolwa RNG and just keep spamming your light projectiles as FD, this might actually override this here. If you are incredibly unlucky and also an idiot, because what you can do to just yeah, not depend on RNG is step a little bit forward and then attack Odolwa, and then it will always work quite quickly. Because if you hit Odolwa, so if you do this, yeah, if you do this, this is safe. If Odolwa blocks many of those light projectiles, it always loads the same actor as a bomb explosion, so that's somehow the same actor. And those actors are very big, and if you load many of those, then yeah, it can maybe theoretically happen that it overrides this, and then that's not good. But this did not happen here. I don't really believe it's actually possible. I don't know. Maybe it's technically possible. So yeah, this is Southern Swamp again, and now we just need to warp to the last boss. What was Gyorg again? 3 target, 1 shield. Okay, so yeah, I do this cutscene skip. You can also do the weird shot, but I'm certainly not doing that on English, unbuffered. And when you're when you don't want to buffer, then you can as well just do this. Wow, that was horrible. And yeah, that's basically the end of the tutorial. Everything you need to do is kill Gyorg and then step into the blue orb, which will warp you to the end credits. I might maybe make some more position setups that we have options for everything. But you can also as well do it yourself. I'm gonna write down the values you need in the description again. And yeah.